welcome. I'm Sean, and this is the Live Daily Show, an inspirational program for the mind, the body, and the spirit. And I'm here at the beautiful Azurich Estate Hotel, and I'm standing with Clarence.
Hello.
How are you?
I am fantastic, thank you.
Clarence, the first time I walked on this property, it was unreal. And I don't know if it was the energy that overcame me, but there's got to be something behind the Azurich.
Oh, I think it is the energy, because the Azurich is actually derived from the stone, the azurite.
Right.
But the more powerful part of that conversation is azure, from Greek mythologies, where the green meets the blue.
The green meets the blue.
And in a lot of different scenarios, that's actually considered heaven. Whatever your version of heaven is, which provides the tranquility and serenity that brings peace.
So I had a little piece of heaven.
You had a little piece of heaven. And the interesting thing about this property is that heaven is not only outside, as you can notice by the trees and our water features, but each room is gem inspired. So if you're having one of those bad days and you need to be pick me up, maybe it's the pearl that needs to, get you that sense of being, or it's that garnet suite that you need to bring that romance. But it's a very powerful place, and we're nestled here in Pritis, where people are now starting to find out about us for that little sense of heaven.
Thank you so much, Clarence.
You're very welcome.
Joining us next is Ethan, and being here at the beautiful Azurich Estate Hotel, I gotta find out exactly what these gems really do for us. And there's no one else I would rather talk to than this young man here. He grew up with crystals. In fact, his mom opened a shop called Vitality Fountains and Crystals. I cannot wait to hear what he has to say.
Thanks so much, Ethan, for coming.
Thank you for having me, Sean. This is absolutely beautiful.
Isn't the Azurich amazing?
It is. I love how gem-inspired it is. That's so authentic. You don't really ever see very many places that are so gem-inspired.
No.
Like this. So
It's
I absolutely
incredible.
love it. Yeah, I love it.
So, from your background, you kind of grew up with crystals.
Yes, I did.
Right? So you've been around crystals, or gems, as some people call them, for a long time.
Yes.
So what are they?
Well, what they do for people, in that when we take a look at all matter within our universe and our Earth, is even in hard solids, the atoms that make them up, they're vibrating. They're really tightly packed, obviously, because they're solid, but they are vibrating. So the matter in the object itself does give off a very subtle vibration.
Okay.
And these crystals, these different crystals, have different atomic structures. They grow differently. They're in different shapes with different colors. They give off a unique vibration, a unique frequency, that are different than other crystals, even in their family. So, and in using that and in knowing that, their vibration, even though it is very subtle,
Right.
when it comes in intact with our vibrations and
Right.
our frequencies, because we give off an energy too.
Right.
They do have effects on us. And so that's where the
Okay.
metaphysical legacy is all about.
Right.
And that's what kind of the metaphysical community, that's what they're all doing, is kind of coming together and learning more about this, because it is actually very amazing, the potential and the unlimited power
Right.
between these vibrations and these different crystals.
Oh. So you have a little crystal shop out in Bowden.
Yes.
And I would love to come and take a peek at
Okay,
that.
I would love for you to come.
All right, let's go. And we're here.
And we're here. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you for having us.
No, this is great.
You know what? 6 years ago, I had my very first book signing right over there.
Right over there.
My very first.
It's amazing how time flies. 6 years doesn't feel like 6 years, and now here we are talking about it.
Yeah, and fast forward, and now I get to sit and talk to you.
Amazing.
Incredible. On self-love.
Self-love.
even.
When it comes to self-love, I have learned that lots of people tend to emphasize the word love within self-love. And while obviously love is very important,
Right.
I do think that we need to start emphasizing self within self-love.
Interesting. So what does self mean?
I think that what we need to do when we think about self is we need to understand that when we talk about self, when I talk about self, I'm talking about me. Self is me, self is you.
So without the expectations or the roles that we play.
Absolutely. I think that we need to completely detach from others and from any prior commitments that we have, and because we need to focus just solely on ourselves. And I think that lots of people underestimate the power that themselves have, that we all have. And I think that lots of people underestimate how strong they are, but I believe that you really don't know how strong you are until being strong is your only option.
Right.
And I personally have had to learn that for myself firsthand, as well as lots of other very close people in my life that I have been with. So I think that then and only then, when we recognize how beautiful we all are, amazing we all are, and strong we all are, can we love each other. And I think that we have to love ourselves before it is even really possible to love others, because everything stems from self. And I think that it all starts from within us.
That's beautiful. That's incredible. Would there be one crystal or gem that you would recommend that would help with complete self-love or self?
Rose quartz, I would talk about. Rose quartz is an amazing stone for just internal peace, harmony, and self-love specifically. And so this helps to bridge the gap, because it is very easy for people just to say, well, I love myself. There's a huge gap between, it is a lot easier said than done. And rose quartz is quite monumental in bridging the gap between just understanding that you need to love yourself and really coming to love who you are and love yourself.
I want to go look at your rose quartz.
We should.
Okay.
Joining me now is Maureen McRae. Her credentials seem endless, so I like to call her Dr. Mo. And if we're talking about self-love, she is my go-to gal. We're gonna sit by the fireplace, have a great conversation, and I bet you she's gonna share some amazing tips for all of us.
Thanks so much for being here today, Mo.
Well, thank you for having me.
You know, it's interesting because today we're all talking about self-love. And I think as women, as a culture, as a society, we're not trained to give ourselves love.
No.
And it's one of those generational pieces that as mothers, I think it's important that we show ourselves self-love in order to pass that along to to our own kids, right?
Exactly. We need to make an example of that, yes, for future generations and for ourselves to take care of ourselves, put that oxygen mask on first.
Exactly,
right?
just like we're told in the airplane, is you put it on first before you help anybody else.
Yeah.
So I think we know a lot within the society of the disconnect in between trying to be perfect or whatever that role of the woman is, right? But what can we do for ourselves to show ourselves self-love?
Well, I think to do a daily check-in just to see how we're feeling, even if you take a look at the end of the day, how did my day go, how do I feel?
And how much time do we need for a daily check-in?
You know, just even 15 minutes. Sometimes that's all
minutes.
people can carve out. So just at the end of the day, if you can, get some things done, and just even if you have to schedule that in, I tell that to my clients, just, ensure that you've got that for yourself.
And is that check-in about feeling valued for yourself? Is it reflecting on the day? Or is it about reflecting on what you need to change in your life? What does consist of that daily check-in?
You know, it can be any of those things, and it can even be just some time to reduce the stress, the perceived stress, and doing that by going out in nature, going for a walk, just to have some time to breathe again. Right? A lot of people are getting up early in the morning and they go full out, and it's 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and they fall into bed, and they do the next day again. And
or they spend that 15 minutes on their Facebook account or things like that, as opposed to maybe having a bath or reading or journaling or something like that.
Absolutely.
And what do you do for your little self-love care routine?
I do take some time. So what I do is I shut down as much as I can Facebook, my phone, computers.
So technology, any outside sources.
Try to get off the because that light stimulates our brain. So 8:30, 9 o'clock, I start shutting things down. I go upstairs, I light a candle. I get my journal out. I think about how the day went, do some breathing, maybe some yoga, a little bit of stretching, or maybe I take my doggy for a walk, get my vitamins ready for the next day.
So you really become present.
I do.
And just let the day go.
Yes. I try to.
Thank you so much for coming on and talking about self-love with me.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Take care.
Self-love is one of those things that I think a lot of women struggle with. But the thing is that self-love and beauty all come from the inside out. It's about embracing yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and using your exercise time. For you, we do so much as women. We're wives, we're mothers, we're CEOs, we do so much, but sometimes we forget about ourselves. So use your exercise as a time for you to embrace yourself, love yourself, and persevere to who you truly are. Do you know what exercise I absolutely love, like your best bang for your buck, is squats? Do you agree with me?
Yes, totally. Squats are just great.
Why do you like squats?
They're simple and easy to do and effective and, yeah, enjoyable to a degree.
To a degree, if we could say that exercise is enjoyable. I like that. Look at you. Exercise is totally enjoyable. Touch squats. Do you want to demonstrate touch squat for me? So, yep, exactly. Feet a little bit wider than hip widths apart, shoulders are back, and she's down and she's touching. And you know what's great about the ball there? For people who don't have the strength within their quads and their hamstrings, if they need to take a rest, you just take a rest.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And you know what? And then you can progress this exercise, the squat, into sumo squats. So shoulders back, chest nice and tall, and you go low. All the way down. The next one, I want you to give me some pulses to vary it up. 3 pulses, perfect. And back down, switch over, yep. And one more, can you do one more step? Bring it back. And then, to bring it up even more, to variate your squat, what do you think?
Jumping squats.
Let's go ahead, give me some jumping squats. Jumping squats all the way down. Not only is she working your cardio, you feel your heart rate increasing? Mm-hmm. Do you feel your quads?
Yeah.
Feel your hamstrings?
Yeah.
And your glutes? Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, I think you need a cold towel. Hey, Jimmy Lee! Oh, you're so awesome,
thank you.
Jimmy Lee. Thank you so much. You're the best. Well, we continue to work out here. I want you to check out this amazing success story from the Ticket to Change.
When I look back at my life, almost 7 years ago, I was in a bad place, a toxic place. I worked in an industry of corporate development that was very toxic, and it beats you down. And I like to medicate because it stopped the pain, you know. I had some trauma early on in my life. I had an abusive home, and then I had abusive relationships. And as time went on, it was easier to numb, just easier to have alcohol, whatever it was that helped me out. So it took control of me, even though I still medicated and put on my mask to be someone else. I had a lot of death in my family. I had my brother and my mother both passed away the same day. I had a couple other people really close to me pass away. Within probably 2 to 3 years, I had 7 or 8 people pass away, and it was it was traumatic. I was done. I couldn't, the pain in my joints, the pain in my body, I was 100 pounds overweight. I didn't know anything differently. And I decided to quit my job and figure out what I was gonna do. It was gonna be the best thing I ever did, or it was gonna be the worst thing I ever did. There was no in between for me at that point. And then I ran into somebody on the day that I gave my notice, who popped into my office when I hit send on my resignation and said, I'll help you out. Come work with me. Come be with me. Come be my partner. And that was it for me. You know, I had to quit everything I was doing and start over. I had to learn how to love myself. I had no self. I had no self-esteem. I felt worthless. I felt like I was a bad person and the things that happened to me was my fault. As women, we tend to support other people all the time, and we give and forget about ourselves. So we have to learn that you've got to go and ask for help, and if you can't be healthy from the inside and out, there's no way you can be there for your kids, for your husband, for your job, for anything, and all the things that go in our life. Because everything's going on, it's never gonna stop. And now that I'm turned 50 this year, I feel better than I ever have, even though, you know, menopause has kicked in, and it's another thing that I have to deal with. So this has been the last struggle the last year, and I'm figuring it out with support as well.
Hello and welcome to the kitchen. And you know what? This isn't my kitchen, but it is the beautiful kitchen of the Azurich Estate Hotel. And I'm here with my friend Tessa. Thank you so much for being here, love.
My pleasure.
And Tessa is a certified holistic nutritionist. And you know, I'm sure you see it too with a lot of your clients in regards to kind of being ahead of the game when it comes to meals and families, especially, you know, we're in the fall and there's always hockey practice or swimming practice. All of those things keep
Planning
us busy,
ahead.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then meal times kind of end up falling behind in whether we just throw in a frozen pizza or we stop and get takeout. And you know what? It's easy and it's simple. And that's why today I wanted to give a tip. And it's about using one simple meal, right? And how easy is chili?
Yeah.
Chili is so easy
I love
to
chili.
make. Do you make chili?
Oh my gosh, that looks so good, yes.
Doesn't it look good?
I do, that looks so good.
And you know what else we added into it? Some spinach.
Yes, love it.
Why do you love me adding spinach
I
into
love,
my chili?
And especially here, because the spinach is not super noticeable, so for picky eaters, kids, mom can scoop that up and the kids don't pick out, ew, there's green stuff in here, and they'll eat it and
Could
feel
you
better
blend
in
it
the
and
long
make it like...
We
just put the leaves in, but you could probably cut it up.
I would
you know.
just chop the leaves up, super easy. When I make my chili, I just grab handfuls.
And just put it all in.
Yeah,
put it
totally.
In the crock pot and be
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
So you have that as your staple, and you can top it with anything you want. If you want a green onion,
Modify, yeah.
Yeah. What do you like to put on your chili?
I like to do onions and I like to do turmeric. I put turmeric in my chili just for the extra benefit of anti-inflammatory. If you have any kids that are in sports, hockey, it just keeps the inflammation of joints down. It very mild if you just
And what
do a
type
little
of
bit.
a taste is turmeric?
I would say it's an earthy taste.
Earthy?
I wouldn't say nutty, just earthy. That's the best way to put it. So the spices that are already in chili really complement it. You can't taste it.
I'm gonna have to try it. You guys should try it too.
Yeah.
You know what I love to do the next day if you have your chili is you make a salad.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right? So you have your lettuce and then you just put your chili on the top and make it like a hot cold dish, right? Because we never know what the weather's going to be like here, right?
Yeah, no,
And then you
totally.
just top it with whatever
It's a
you
good
want.
summer, yeah.
So I love cucumbers. Do you do your salads like on the side? So you vegetables, or do you like to put them all over the place?
All over the place. Switch it up, actually.
You like to
Depends.
Depends?
Yeah.
Okay, well you should put something on.
Sure. I'll put some radishes. And you got tomatoes, put some more tomatoes. What about, oh, that would be so good, avocado.
Avocado?
Yeah. Avocados are awesome for their good fat content.
You know, a lot of people are scared to eat them because
I
of
know,
the high calorie
I
count,
know,
hey?
yeah. And the fat, because they're so high in fat, but it's good fat.
It's good fat?
It's fats that keep our brain sharp, fats that keep our joints nice and moist and moving good. Yeah, just good fats, you need them.
You need them.
And it doesn't, it's good for keeping weight loss under control too. I know it sounds crazy because you think fat, you think weight gain, but
But not when it comes naturally like
no,
that, right?
it's not processed, and oh no, it's so good for you.
So good.
Yeah, and you can eat it so many ways. You can use avocado in desserts even. It's amazing.
I know, they do like that
Brownies.
avocado mousse thing.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Oh
make that
my
sometime.
gosh, so good, yeah.
And then you can just top it with some onions if you want it.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Flavor. Good flavor. It's beautiful.
Love it.
Love it.
You know what? So that would be lunch. And then the other thing I recommend, if you still have your staple of your chili,
Yeah.
is why not turn it into a wrap? Right? So you take a
Great.
wrap, and then you know
Yeah.
what I love? Slide that over here.
That's beautiful.
And that's a great kitchen.
I love it.
So much space.
It's beautiful.
So you just take it, and you know what? You can either put your more spinach. What would you do? It's kind of like making a
I would-
quesadilla or a wrap, but only
Totally.
you're using your chili, right?
Well, you know, and a good thing to remember is when you have vegetables, they change a little bit when you heat them up. So from fresh to having them cooked changes their structure a little bit. So it is great to have your heated spinach, and then you can put some fresh spinach on top, and you're getting even more fiber, more greens.
What else would you put in here?
Even maybe
Onions?
some onions. You could even put chopped up peppers, like red pepper, right there.
Right? And then
Yeah, no, that's good. There's
That's
tomatoes
good?
in there.
Perfect.
Oh, that looks really yummy.
and then you would just, have that as a quick and easy snack. So when
Totally.
you're
If you're
running-
needing a boost of probiotics, you can put a little bit of sour cream on there too.
some sour cream on
As
there.
long as you're not dairy sensitive, but yeah, totally.
Or you put it on the side and then you can just dip it
Yeah,
in with
oh, I
every
like
bite,
that.
right?
That's better. Then it doesn't ooze out. Yeah, that's good. You can even put that on your salad. Love it. It's
Thank
beautiful.
you so much for all of the tips today.
Thank you for inviting me. It's
Oh.
great.
Cheryl, thank you so much for chatting with me today here at the Superstore. And we're over here in the peanut butter kind of natural section for a reason.
Yes.
Can you tell me what that reason is?
My 16-year-old son is anaphylactic to nuts. He's been, peanuts.
Peanuts.
Anaphylactic to peanuts since he was 2.
Since he was 2, so then, wow.
Yes. So a lot of work, a lot of deciding what he can eat, what he can't eat. And so there wasn't much out there. I had to do a lot of research. I had to do a lot of things. You saw me standing in a grocery aisle dialing the 1-800 number just to talk to the people to see if they had nuts in their product or where they were manufactured. But now things are really easy. Lots and lots of companies are labeling correctly, right? It's really easy now.
So now with all of these moms getting their kids ready for back to school or they're in back to school,
Yeah.
what tips do you have for us?
Well, as we know, we can't keep nuts out of society, out of
Right.
the world, right? It's up to us to teach our children to keep safe, right? But we can do, every parent can do their little thing to help. Something like Wow Butter, which is a fantastic alternative to peanut butter.
Right.
Right? And it's very close to peanut butter. The taste is close. There's also a pea butter, but I don't believe
What
they
about
have this here.
sunflower seed butter?
Sunflower seeds, because it's a seed, it's different than a nut, so it
Right,
would
so
be
that
fine.
would be school
Right.
safe as well.
But an almond or something like that, because it's a nut, right? So it wouldn't be safe. right? It wouldn't be allowed in schools.
Right.
But yeah, so the wow butter is really good. That's what I buy.
You buy the wow butter?
All the time.
I think I'm gonna buy
and
the
they have
wow
a
butter.
crunchy and they have a smooth. Just
What's
like
your
the vanilla.
preference?
I like the crunchy.
You like the
Yeah,
crunchy, you need the crunch.
I do.
Aww.
I like it,
Well, thank you for your tips and thanks for chatting with me
No
today.
problem. Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. Tom, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
I am yours.
My child, Hannah, was the one that healed me to inspire me to do what it is that I do through everything that she has. She's a little messenger from the Creator that keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I was with a group of young minds, 300 of them, as a matter of fact. It was a pretty powerful room. Very sternly, this young person looked at me and said, you know, you don't have to teach me to be kind. You only have to be kind to me. That's what this young person said.
How old?
13. So how smart are we? We're okay. Well, you know,
We're okay, yeah,
well, yeah,
exactly.
we're okay,
We're
you know.
okay, but it's the young ones that that are pure.
if you don't know what somebody who needs something, if you don't know what they need, how do you know what you can give them? How do you know what to bring?
Right.
You have to ask the question, I guess, eh?
You could. Or you could just
Just
be
like
love.
you do, right?
Yeah. Love or kindness. And thank you for taking your time out today to chat with me.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Live Daily Show. I hope you found a little bit of inspiration in regards to self-love. Self-love is one of those things that only we can do for ourselves. Remember, you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you can help anybody else. So we'll see you next time on the Live Daily Show.